Hey guys, today I wanted to give you a quick update on the Boundary Supply Errant pack. I've used it for about 2 months now and I want to let you know along the way what happened. So today's focus is on my trip to Austria, which I used this backpack as an everyday carry with camera equipment and other stuff in there. So I'll show you what I carried in it and how I carried it. So in the background I have some ice skates here as well, which I carried on the outside. It's very handy as well. If you want to know all the dimensions of the pockets and that kind of stuff, I left a full review about 3 weeks ago, so I'll link that down in the description if you want to check that out. And yeah, let's get into it. On the top of the pack here I usually carried some gloves. These are the Full Class Trek 900 gloves. They're waterproof and warm up to -4, but I've found that they're actually way warmer than that, so those are on the outside of the bag. On the top here I have my Low Pro Tactic straps, which I use to carry more stuff on the outside, like my ice skates and Steadicam, that kind of stuff. On the side I usually carried the water bottle, but sometimes I wanted to carry a tripod which would go in there, and then with this little lash strap it would hook on. So this is the Genesis C5 tripod, which is 1.8 kilos. It's quite heavy for this bag, but it works. I just wish they had 2 water bottle pockets, one on each side, but that would get rid of the side quick access side pocket, which is kind of big. But if they had 2 pockets, you could kind of equalize the weight across the bag, so you could put a tripod on this side and a water bottle on the other side, which would have been great. Now, to get into these Low Pro Tactic straps, the way I used them was to carry my ice skates on the outside of the bag. So what I did was to make them a little bigger. So you just hook the back ends into here, and you unclip the front. Clip them like this, and then I carried my protectors for the ice skate. I carried them under there as well. So you could use this for other stuff as well. So what I used it for as well was my Steadicam, which was also pretty handy. And then I usually carried my Steadicam like this, and then my tripod on the side of the bag, and then the tripod held in place with this. So the only worry I had was with this little clip over, well, this little strap over here, because it had 2 tensions on it now. I had a tension of this Steadicam, and it had the tension of the tripod pulling the other way. Yeah, a little bit of the sewing is letting go, which I'm kind of worried about. But then again, it's not supposed to be used like I'm using it right now. It's supposed to be used way lighter than this. Now the other ones are doing quite well. These on the bottom are okay, and I haven't actually used this one all the way at the bottom, so I'll let you know when I get to use that. Okay, so let's go into the top part. The top part's still very handy with these little magnetic clips. You just clip them up. Sometimes I did use the zipper, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, and sometimes I didn't. Now, in the top of the bag I usually carried this, which is kind of a strange item, but it's pretty awesome. It's the Grand Trunk parachute nylon hammock. This is the single version. There's also a double version, which is a little bigger. This is very handy for when you're hiking or going somewhere if it has trees. And yeah, just when you're having a rest, just hook up to the trees, and you don't have to sit on the ground, you don't have to stand up. And it's also pretty cool to take pictures of as well. Yeah, it's a pretty cool item to have. Now with that, I'll take the tree-friendly straps, which are handy as well, so they don't bite into the bark. Now of course, when I'm going on a photography trip, I'm taking these These are the Acebeam EC65 flashlights, which are 4000 lumens, USB-C rechargeable and waterproof up to 5 meters. So this is very handy when you're taking pictures at night and you just want to light up a subject or that kind of thing. I haven't really used them that much in this trip, but in other trips I do plan on using them more. Further down inside the bag I have these, I have the Fjällräven hat and another pair of gloves. So if the other gloves are too warm, I usually carry these as well. And that was it for the top part. You can see down there, I hope you can see it. So this at the bottom here is my camera cube, which keeps my camera, so we'll have to access that through the back. At the top I have these two carabines which I just hook up stuff with. So you just open the complete back panel, which is fine. I just wish I had the camera accessory that goes into the top, so I could only unlatch the top part and grab the camera really fast. So yeah, if you want to see a review on that, please hit subscribe and like the video so I can get some more followers, and maybe I'll pull the trigger and buy it. So what I have in here right now is the Lowepro Pro Tactic camera cube I got out of my first camera bag, which isn't specifically made for this, but it fits perfectly. So you just unlatch this and it opens up, and this gives it some extra waterproofing protection. I don't think it needs it in this bag, but it's kind of nice to have. So in this camera cube I kept my Fujifilm X-T-3 with the battery grip and the 18 to 55. Kept a strap with me just in case, haven't used it there. Some cloths for the lens, an ND filter, cards, and the body cap as well. These are for attaching the ND filters to step-up rings. And then on the other side over here I kept the battery charger and GoPro Hero 4, which I really want to get the new Hero 7 because this one has some kind of strange line through the image. I emailed GoPro about it, but yeah, they didn't want to replace it. That's P, so I need to get a new one. And yeah, this is pretty much all that's in it. In the cover over here I carry some USB-C cables and a USB-C dongle there, and at the top here I carry the laptop, which I wouldn't carry with me all over the place. I would just carry it to the house, and then I left it there for the entire vacation. Now on the quick access side pocket over here I carried this, which is the iClever jump starter. It has USB-C on this side and two USB ports over here. It's kind of a weird item to have, but I don't use this as a car jump starter. I use it as a power bank, which it's way better than a normal power bank because it has a lot more output. So the USB-C output has 30 watts of power, which can charge your MacBook Pro, and it has a flashlight in it and that kind of stuff. It's a little bigger than a normal 20,000 milliamp hour power bank, but yeah, it does the job perfectly. Now why do I carry this with me is for the Fujifilm batteries and also the GoPro batteries. So as you saw here, I have this Fujifilm FX1 charger and it has USB. So what I did was I just put it into the power bank, I turned it on, and it starts charging the batteries on my Fujifilm. So I would never run out of battery. However, I didn't really use it that much because I have to put battery grip on the Fujifilm already, and it just lasted all day. So in the side access pocket I also keep my Swiss Army knife or Swiss pocket knife, I'm not really sure what I call it, but it's always handy to have if you need to fix something, and a pen, which is always handy to keep a pen with you. And yeah, that was it for the side pocket. I just want to talk to you guys about the full experience with carrying this during the holiday as a camera bag. Usually what I carried on holiday was my Lowepro Pro Tactic 450 AW, which is way bigger than this bag. You can carry more stuff and it has more options on the outside for carrying tripods and that kind of stuff. it also feels more solid when you're carrying a tripod and a Steadicam with you. However, it's bigger, and that's not always better, because if I don't know if that's the case for you guys, but when I carry a big camera bag, I tend to put in a lot more stuff than when I'm carrying a small camera bag. So that was one of the reasons why I bought this bag. I bought it primarily for school and that kind of stuff, but I also wanted to use it as a camera bag. So I bought the XT-3, which is a smaller camera than what I have now, which I'm recording on right now is the 7D Mark II. And yeah, I wanted to use this as a camera bag, which is great because the camera cube from Lowepro fit right in it. It basically has these Velcro straps right over here, and it has the Velcro straps on the camera cube of the Lowepro, and it just fit in there perfectly, so I was very happy with that. And yeah, that worked out pretty well. The only thing I didn't like was, what I already told you about, is that I have to open the entire back panel to get to the camera gear. That's why I want to buy the camera accessory from Boundary Supply, which goes into the top of the bag, and then you can just unhook the magnetic bits. I think you need to unzip it as well, and then you could just grab your camera gear, which would have been very handy for this trip as well, because every time I wanted to take a picture, I'd put the bag down on the ground, unzip the complete back panel, open it up, and if it was raining or snowing at that time, which it didn't on this trip, but if it was, everything inside the bag would have been kind of wet, and you would have had to close it again. Now if it was at the top, you just unhook it, grab it, and the magnetic clips will clip on again, which would have been way handier. But overall, it felt very solid, and yeah, I really liked it. So yeah, that was it for the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, subscribe and leave a like, really helps out the channel, and lets me do more stuff, like review more stuff for the Boundary Supply Errant pack. Right, see you guys next time.